Hello, hello, everyone. We are live on Instagram. Hey, Instagram world. And we are going live on other channels. Seems like we're having some issues with Facebook. So sorry to the Facebook world. Um, so we're just going to have to remove that one. I don't know if anyone's getting this. So we're just going to go live on Instagram, hey again, Facebook, not Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Rumble. And so for those who are with me on YouTube, Rumble, and LinkedIn, please let me know in the comments if you can hear me. We've had some issues in the past. I've checked my mic. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. I'm not muted. So let's hope that this works. Hoping you guys can give me some feedback on if you can hear me. All right, so today's topic, today we're talking about something that is huge, huge, huge for attorneys, and that is the concept of integrity. And it was interesting because this one has been something that I was thinking about, and then like many Florida lawyers, I got the email a while back about our updated professionalism expectations CLE, and I completed that. And in there, someone said something really, really interesting about integrity, and it kind of just furthered the fact that I wanted to talk to you guys about this. And so the concept of integrity can be talked about in multiple ways. And I really just want to have a heart to heart discussion with you guys about the concept of integrity, because sometimes integrity can come off, when someone talks about integrity, it can kind of come off in like a righteous way, and really that's not what integrity is about. Integrity is not about being better than someone else. Integrity is a code that we honor, and then is it a code? It is a code that we adhere to. And when we all act with integrity, it's a contagious thing, and a contagious thing in a great way. So, by saying that, the world is our mirror. So, when we act in a certain way, we often get that way back. We often feel that many others with us in that same manner. And we see often situations in our lives where it comes right back to us. So, if you're acting with people without integrity, then you're also going to get that right back there. And so I did want to highlight the definition of integrity. I have it pulled up. Oops. I have it pulled up here. So the definition of integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness, or also the state of being whole and undivided. So it's this feeling of being honest with one another. And I like to think of integrity also like, especially when we're dealing with others, and particularly in adverse situations, like when you have two boxers or two fighters getting ready to fight, and then they touch gloves. And they say that they're going to have a fair fight and that they're going to adhere to the rules. And I think that um, that requires integrity. There is integrity there to saying, hey, we're going to fight it out, but we're going to do it in accordance with the rules. And we're not going to do some slick, off the book, illegal rules, illegal things just to win this fight. And, as attorneys, it's important for us. It's really important for us to uphold that vow that we made to act with integrity. And when we do this, when we act with integrity with our colleagues and with others, we get that right back in return. And it's contagious. And it's especially contagious because when people act in a way that's less desirable than others, but then they see that people are getting away with it, and it's especially even harder to act with integrity, for example, because maybe others are not acting with integrity, then it becomes harder and harder, and there's less incentive to act in that way. But at the end of the day, we made an oath to act with integrity. And it is an absolute privilege to be attorneys, to have this ability to help people and to have this to be a part of this profession. And that requires us to act with integrity. And integrity is a habit, because if it's a habit, then it's easy to continue. It's not necessarily always easy, but it's your instinct. When things are your habits, they're your instinct. So if you have developed a habit of acting maybe where you're bending the rules, where you're not necessarily acting with integrity, then especially when things get hard, you're going to continue to act in that way. However, if you have made it a habit of acting with integrity, even when it gets hard, you continue to act that way. And it really touches every single aspect of our lives. Um, and it really can apply to little things, like even in traffic, acting with integrity. And I think that we all lead by example, and maybe not, maybe you're going to act with integrity with someone who's not acting with integrity, but you often have to be able to go above and beyond even when others aren't acting that way, in the hope and the trust that others will act that way, and that you'll draw others to you in a way. Because I think that, and one of the things that I did want to add about this point is that the thing about honesty and acting with integrity is that you have nothing to hide. And that is the ultimate freedom. When you're coming from a place that is not integrous, then you're not necessarily, then you have something to hide. You know, in German, we have a phrase that says lies have short legs. And it's the truth, because if you're not coming from an honest place, then you're constantly having to go back to whatever story it is that you built. And sometimes people even eventually end up believing their own story. But the short legs of a lie can only carry you so far. And maybe it'll carry you for years, but eventually it'll come up and catch you. Whereas if you're always acting with integrity and you're always doing your best to be honest with one another and to act and to treat people in an honest manner and do the best that you can to represent your clients in an honest manner, and how you interact with your clients and the people around you in your world, this is what will get you farther. And you know, they always say the truth shall set you free, and the truth will set us always free, because that's a simple fact. The truth is the truth, and that's why that's why it is, you know, a defense to defamation and everything like that, because the truth shall set us free. So if we act with integrity, we are free. And so that's one of the things that I really, really wanted to hire to bring up in this CLE, the CLE. Gosh, guys, what I really wanted to bring up in this live, and the reason why I said CLE is because, going back to the point that kind of like inspired me to actually do this one, is someone in that CLE that I listened to had a really beautiful point, and he said, you know, once a lawyer, always a lawyer. That means you're a lawyer whether you're at home with your friends and family, or you're a lawyer when you're in the courtroom. You're always a lawyer. And it was interesting because he said it in a way where he was like, maybe some people aren't necessarily like, you want to, you know, take your hat off and go home and let loose. And, you know, of course you can go home and let loose. Integrity is not something that you take on and off. Integrity is just a way of being. And because once a lawyer, always a lawyer, that means that you have the same face with everyone that you speak with. You have nothing to hide, because that is your face with your clients, that is your face with your friends and family, and that is your face with everyone that you're with. It's not this Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation where people are getting totally different versions of yourself. And you know, to say different versions of yourself, yes, of course, we're going to be more relaxed, and you can let your hair down with your friends and family. And you're, of course, not going to be as um, casual with a judge or with a client as you're going to be with your family. Like, that is a given, and that and I think that that should not be confused with the different versions of ourselves that show up. Yes, you have that um, you have that version of yourself that is more buttoned up for certain situations, but that version of yourself is you at a core. It's not a completely different version. And that's what integrity is. Integrity is at a core who we are and how we act. It's a code that what we go by. It makes decisions easier because you don't have to think about, um, all you have to think about is what is the best version of myself going to do in this situation? What is honest and true and what is right in the situation to do? I think when we do that, it is the best thing to go by. It's the easiest thing to go by, even though sometimes it is the hardest because difficult sometimes it's difficult to take the right to make the right choice instead of taking the easy way out, which oftentimes an easy way out in the short run is easy but it's hard in the long run. So, I've said this again, what goes around comes around. Integrity goes around and comes around. Be that example for others and for yourself. Be that person that you can look in the mirror in the morning and be proud of what you did and who you are. Because I think that when we live in a society where we can look each other in the eyes, that is a society that I love to be a part of. And I think we all love to be a part of because it's such a good feeling knowing that you can look someone in the eyes and know that they're being honest with you and know that they're doing things in the right way, and you can have that trust with one another. And yes, not everybody's going to, maybe they're acting, doing the best that they can at that moment, and it's not the best for you. And we're always going to encounter different situations where people aren't being righteous and aren't acting with integrity. But all you can worry about is yourself and how you show up. And so that is our honor and privilege as attorneys to be that example for the world. So let us continue to spread that message that that we do act with integrity and that we do uphold these standards, because then the more of that catches on, the less of the the less of the jokes we have about the sharks and how attorneys are liars and all those other things that people like to joke about, and those do exist. But overall, I know that we as a profession, um, we have such an honor to be a part of this profession, and it's such an honor to be able to be, and a privilege to be able to speak to all of you. And I know that we can inspire one another in how we act and when we're showing up at our best. So that's it for this live today. I would love to hear your comments, how this resonated with you, and I will see you on the next one. Bye, everybody.